Heart rates, testing hypotheses. Do you know your heart rate? Could you take your pulse? We're going to ask ourselves today if the mean heart rate amongst women is different than the mean heart rate amongst men. So we begin by taking two independent samples, one for women's heart rates and one for male heart rates. As we summarize the data in our sample, we do see that there seems to be some evidence that the women's heart rates are actually greater than the men's heart rates. So when we set things up, we'll consider this. Is there sufficient evidence to conclude that the mean heart rate amongst all women exceeds the mean heart rate among all men? So let's begin by formalizing our hypotheses. So let mu sub f represent the mean heart rate among all women, and let mu sub m represent the mean heart rate among all men. The null hypothesis should be the statement that the two are equal, or that the difference is equal to 0. The alternative hypothesis, this is the one that we hope to prove, this is the statement that we are testing, is that the mean heart rate amongst women is greater than the mean heart rate amongst men, or that the difference is greater than 0. So when it comes to computing the test statistic, since we are using the sample standard deviation and not the population standard deviation, we will use T procedures. So our test statistic will be T. And so if you calculate it according to the formula, our test statistic T is equal to 4.18. Assuming equal variances, we will use the degrees of freedom equal 78 in our calculations. So computing the p-value, since we are testing to see if the mean heart rate amongst women is greater than the mean heart rate amongst men, we want to find the probability of exceeding 4.18, and that's shown in the graph to the right. We find a p-value in this case of 0.000038, and this is quite small. To interpret the p-value just a little bit, we can state if the mean heart rates are equal, the probability of observing such samples with a difference as great or greater is 0.000038. So when it comes to stating our conclusion, with such a small p-value, we believe that the difference witnessed in our sample means is too great to be the result of just chance. So we believe that this is indeed evidence that the mean heart rate of all women exceeds the mean heart rate of all men. This is strong evidence that the mean heart rate of all women exceeds the mean heart rate of all men. We may ask ourselves, why is the mean heart rate among women greater than the mean heart rate among men?